Hello, welcome. Sorry, I haven't done one of these in a while. I've been doing university applications and whatnot, and I'm very ill, hence the little Red Riding Hood attire. This is going to be more of an improvisational blog, mainly because that's why I'm wearing the glasses, because I've got a few notes. But this isn't a quirky attempt at attaining individuality, no, because these glasses make me look like the sort of person who ends up on the front page of a newspaper for luring someone to my house to cook and eat them. So today I'm going to talk about the budget, and in particular Mr. David Cameron. I personally see David Cameron sort of like an uncle who molested me in the past. I don't fully trust him, but I still find myself defending him no matter how many times he fucks me. Yeah, like a prime example, the university fees. You know, at the time I was like, well, it'll stop people doing Mickey Mouse courses. You go to university to try and get an above average income at the end of it, and you know, and at the end of the day, you're not paying back £40,000 in one whack. Yeah. Um, Pardon me. But then I found out that universities like London South Bank University were charging the full £8,000, and that grimly familiar taste of Uncle Spunk re-emerged in my mouth. So we move on to my displeasure for Uncle David today, and the reason for this is he's decided to abolish disability living allowance, and it's pretty clear by the title, but disability living allowance is there for people disabled, and it's money for them to survive. Basically, it's not a great deal, but it's there for them to survive. They're able to work alongside it. It helps them with their daily life. But he's decided that the best way to get our country moving in the right direction is to punish them, take it away, get them back into work. You know, and yeah, instead of being brutally honest and sliding into our beds at the dead of night, licking our ears and whispering, "Brace yourselves," Mr. Cameron has put it in a very different format. He's acting as if this is some sort of treat for us. Um, I think his words were, "Everyone." I've got it here. Yeah, he believes that everyone has the right to work, and when he says everyone, he fucking means everyone. People with terminally ill. This is what I've heard. I'm not 110% sure, but from some legitimate sources, people are terminally ill are being made to go back to work. Apparently you've still got a few months of work left in you. You bloody get on with it, you bloody brave trooper. That is the attitude that he's taking. Now this isn't to say that I don't believe the DLA needed a serious reform, because it did. But a reform should have been used to thoroughly assess everyone who's claiming DLA and ensure that those who need it are getting it, and those who are claimed to have a bit of a dicky tummy are kicked off and looking for a job. But it shouldn't have been used to abolish the whole fucking system, you know. And it comes as another slap in the face of those of us who voted Liberal Democrat in hope that at worst they'd end up being the angel on David Cameron's shoulder. Don't be surprised if you haven't heard anything about this. It's not exactly being promoted on billboards. In fact, it's sort of being very slowly implemented across the country. The reason for that is, I assume that if he did it all at once, the riots that would take place would make last year's look like a Chuckle Brothers tea party or something. And why are they cutting funds for those people who are already living pretty close to being in poverty? The reason for this apparently is because we need to give those bankers on over £5 million a year an incentive to work. Mm, and obviously we shouldn't tax those bankers' bonuses, because they could strike. What was it? What was it we said to the public sector folk? Oh, that was it. Spin on it. That was what we said. Brilliant. I remembered. So today we get informed of George Osborne's budget, and surely this won't be an epic fuck you to 99% of us who aren't earning over £150,000 a year. No, apparently it is. Yeah, but surely Nick Clegg, surely he'd fight for it, right? Surely he'd locate his testicles and challenge Mr. Cameron. What? Too busy getting his belly tickled. Brilliant. So they'll be cutting tax for those earning over £150,000 a year, in hope that, I suppose, The more money rich people have, the more they spend, the better the economy becomes, the more jobs open up for cock munchers like us. But on paper that looks legit. But this tax cut, it's, yeah, 30 million taxpayers. This tax cut won't do a sodding thing for 27.7 million of us. A phrase I found online sums this up perfectly. Millions pay more, so millionaires can pay less. And you can't help but think, what are these politicians smoking? You know, there's millions of young people out of work. Businesses are closing down all over the place. Um, you know, this is not the time to fuck them over. I'd go into detail over this, but Mr. Osborne kept saying he wanted to simplify things. Let's keep things simple. What a simple, um, a simple, unequivocal, brash summary of his budget would be that he's looking out for him and the 1% and fuck you to the rest of us. That'd be simple. As a country, where does this leave us? In depression, I'd have thought. I mean, the working class, poor areas, we're just about to get a whole lot poorer. And as someone with a disabled mother, I find out she only have £30 a week to live on, to survive on, right? I mean, is poverty a worthy price to pay for the ear-to-ear grin on a banker's face after he mops up his own smegma with a £50 note? I don't think it is. But where does this leave people who rely on disability living allowance for their own independence? Because this is true, a worrying amount of people have said that without the money, they have no independence. Without that independence, they have no reason to live. I'm not particularly patriotic. I don't really see why I should gain some sense of pride just because I was born somewhere. But I'm certainly glad to be British, And even in comparison to America, uh, we've got a lot of things right where they've failed. Healthcare being one example. But when it seems like David Cameron has his scissors permanently poised over the NHS, what do we have to be proud about? I've half-heartedly tried to defend him in the past, with sort of like non-committal remarks such as, pardon me, such as, oh, he's not that bad, oh, I thought he'd be worse than this. But I can't defend this in a time where the poorest people are just about getting back onto steady ground. To push them over is unforgivable. Labour have their faults, okay, but we never had to worry about Uncle Gordon fisting us whilst we slept. No, he might have one or two sherries, making an advised pass at you whilst you're cooking the sprouts, but it was the musical comedy equivalent of rape. So 99% of us are now all in this together, and it's important now more than ever that we look out for those we care about, and because for some of us this is going to be a very, very tough time. I'm sort of getting close to, you know, turning into a cliche and bursting out into some hollow attempt at sentimentality in a song format, but I think we can get through this. I think we can. Just thank you so much for watching, because most of this was garbled, incoherent nonsense. I'm not going to lie to you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will genuinely come back and do a new video when I'm feeling better. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon.